So a little video on the British elections. They're still counting the votes, but we do have the exit polls, which are usually accurate. And I'm going to read from the best newspaper in the world, Pulitzer winner 2014, The Guardian. Apparently, they don't seem very happy. They don't seem very happy at all. Apparently, the Tories, the Conservatives in the United Kingdom, managed to win, and not just any type of winning, but a landslide majority. It seems that Jeremy Corbyn's abortions on demand, even one day before birth, weren't really the vote winner. Seems trying to raise people's taxes doesn't get you the vote. It seems when people go to vote on a democratic referendum and you don't really listen to that referendum, people start asking, well, if they don't really like democracy, why should we democratically vote for them in the first place? Still, looking at British politics, you have to understand that the Conservatives are much further to the left than what right-wingers are in America. In fact, a lot of people on the internet would call the British Conservatives progressives running under the speed limit. Basically, Labour would open the gates towards insanity and the progressives would slowly follow. But I think these elections might actually be a good thing, because before them, a lot of the Tories defected to the point where they lost their majorities in the House of Representatives. And now those people who defected, which were left-leaning people, not right-wing, I believe Americans would call them rhinos, right-winger in name only, aren't in the Conservative Party anymore. So hopefully now the Conservatives are going to be able to do what the name actually says and conserve something. I don't know what, but hopefully something should be conserved. Isn't that what conservative stands for? But anyway, right. So now the Guardian is really upset with all of this, obviously. So they're deciding to just take some cherry picking quotes, basically like the Guardian has hot takes. Former Conservative chairwoman Baroness Warsi. Am I allowed under the new terms of service to talk about her, Susan? Susan, please do not. Be merciful, Susan. Let me run my channel, please. I'm not hateful. There's just love here. There's just love. Speaking of love, apparently Baroness Warsi is tweeting out on the Twitter that her husband has voted Lib Dems. Like, what do you mean her husband has voted Lib Dems? No, imagine this, right? Imagine like Hillary Clinton running for president, and she goes on Twitter and she says Bill Clinton has voted Republican. You know? What on earth is this? Why would you say that? Even if it's true. Even if it's true, why would you make it public? Like, no. She is a conservative. She's in the Conservative Party, and her husband voted for a different political faction. Like, what? And not only that, because, you know, that's fine. Perfect. But why would you go on Twitter and say that? And the reason is because apparently she's going to take a dig at the Conservative Party. Look at this. The former Conservative chairwoman has called for introspection on the part of the Tories. I'm not sure she's been paying attention, but the Tories have won. The parties that win aren't the ones that should do the introspection. It's the parties that lose that should do the introspection. Like the Lib Dems or Labour. Labour should definitely go through an introspection. The parties who win have won so because the people like them, so there is no introspection to be done. Oh my God, British politics. My party must start healing its relationship with British Muslims. Oh yes, because the party who is allowing for mass immigration from Muslim countries are definitely Islamophobic. And not only that, like you have Jacob Rees-Mogg, a high-ranking official into the Conservative Party, which says Islam shouldn't be questioned. So Islam is unquestionable, to the point where it boggles the mind. Like, if you believe this, why aren't you a Muslim? Because you must believe Allah exists. You can't question that, right? If you don't believe Allah exists, you're questioning it. You believe in Muhammad, because otherwise you'd be questioning it, and you believe everything in the Quran. So why aren't you a Muslim? But I don't know. Like, I'm trying to make sense of the unsensible. You know, like oh my God, this job that I picked to entertain people. Not very entertaining for me when I think about it. Endorsements from Tommy Robinson and Katie Hopkins and colleagues retweeting both is deeply disturbing. So, if I was Tommy Robinson, I would give an endorsement to Baroness Warsi just to see how she reacts. I mean, I'm really curious. I'm really curious how she would react. Because right here, she is doing a logical fallacy, which very people know about it. It's called the genetic fallacy. The genetic fallacy is like, because a person is evil, so let's assume Tommy Robinson is Satan. Just because he says something doesn't mean that something is evil as well. So, for example, Hitler would say that we need to protect the rights of animals. Like, animals deserve rights and we should protect them. Just because it comes from him doesn't mean that it is something bad that we should fight against, right? Like, if the party in World War II Germany, Susan, am I saying the correct word to avoid demonetization? Yeah, if they were to say we need to protect the environment, then obviously that wouldn't necessarily be an evil thing. But anyway, again, I'm trying. The battle to root out racism must now intensify. Islam is not a race. I can convert. You know what? I think I will. I think I will one of these days. One of these days I will convert to Islam. Honestly. And then I will transcend my race. It's like, when you transcend to Islam, it's like in World of Warcraft, you know, you pay for a racial change. I'm curious, like, will my skin color differ? Will my genetic makeup change? Like, what will happen when I convert? One day I need to find out. Like, it seems to be wonderful. This is what the Conservative Party is saying about the exit poll. This is a projection, not a result. It's important we wait to see the actual results when they come in. Yeah, I guess. But you know, like, every single year, when you guys have an election, the exit polls are 90% accurate. So it would be surprising if this year would be different. What we do know is that voters have rejected Labour's fudge on Brexit. Man, do the Conservatives in Britain what do you call them? Cojones? Like, you managed to win through a landslide. If this isn't the time to form a circle and masturbate over Labour, I don't know what it is. Like, if I was there, I would have said, yeah, Labour came with the craziest plan in British history. If not human history. It's like, let's raise taxes for everyone. Oh, look, I have a little red book here. Oh, let's start communism, comrades. And apparently people didn't want that. Who would have thought? British people aren't communists. We fought communists. The ones behind the Iron Curtain. Economically, of course. But still, you know, like, if you were a conservative, now it's the time to use that political capital in order to crush the opposition. It's what parties do all around the world. I never understand why the conservatives in Britain are so cowardly to speak out against Labour. Oh, wait, actually, which is one of the biggest newspapers in Britain? Oh, The Guardian. The Guardian has journalists which are members of the Labour Party. Oh, now it makes sense. Okay, now I understand why they're a little bit more with their heads down. The former chief of staff to Theresa May says it looks as if the very people and constituencies the Conservatives hope to reach during May's snap election have been persuaded in this election. Well, I mean, let's say Theresa May, dementia tax, fox hunting, bring back the ivory trade. It was almost like she polled people, like she asked people what they wanted to give the opposite. Like, honestly, if I was put in charge of the most popular party in a country, And I was tasked to lose the election. I don't think I could have made a better job than Theresa May. And then we reached to the salt. Make them cry again, 2020. This is part one. Hopefully America will do part two. We've lost the votes of many of the people we were founded to represent. My party didn't heed the warning signs that have been apparent for a decade and failed to recognize that people who voted Leave deserve to have their voices heard. I say that as someone who voted Remain. This is quite a based statement. I guess better late than never to wake up. I mean, one would think that when a political party is founded by Nigel Farage with a one issue, just one, Brexit, that's it, and it manages to gain more votes than any other party in the European Union election, you might think that people might care about Brexit more than you think, and trying to campaign for Remain isn't such a good idea. What do I know? I'm just a little Romanian, just a little guy on a little table here, in the dark, watching a dying channel because the YouTube algorithm is not recommending my videos anymore. Please share, please subscribe, it will help me a lot. It's hard to know what to say really about the exit poll. We are gutted. You had polls before this exit poll. There were obvious signs that things aren't going well for you, and yet you chose to go further to the left. Gutted for the people who desperately need a Labour government. Who? The people who wanted their taxes to be raised? For those relying on food banks, on NHS waiting lists, and trapped in debt on universal credit. Let's not just jump to our own conclusions, though. If the Tories don't sell the NHS, which I understand is the most profitable business in the world, if they don't sell it to Donald Trumpsky, as as many Labour people said, and journalists, will they apologize? Do you think they will come? You know what? We were wrong on this. We were wrong. It happened. We were wrong. Also, long waiting lists on the NHS. Wow. Can you name me a single country that has a similar population to Britain with a public healthcare system where the waiting lists aren't long? Because here's the thing. We have leftist government in Romania, and the waiting system for our public healthcare is very long. In Canada, it's the same. It's almost as if everywhere around the world where you have a public healthcare system, one of the downsides is long waiting lists. Bullshit. It must be the Tories, yes, clearly. If exit poll is accurate, my first thought is for all who suffered the last 9 years. Well, clearly not you, Stephen, because by default you're privileged. Not only you're white, you're male, but you're also an MP, so... I really like the people who don't suffer, but they care about the people who are doing the suffering, It's just something that I find difficult to believe, but... and I fear now they will face much worse. I fear the future for our younger generation. Oh, think of the children. I fear for the public institutions. Oh my God, they might become capitalist. Mad Boris Johnson is going to privatize everything. Dark times. Some of us must offer new hope amidst despair. Holy shit, dude, you lost an election. The world isn't over. Oh my God. Can you imagine just how much you must hate the opposition to think that they're going to bring dark times and bring upon despair on the land of Britain? If the poll is right, this is a disaster for communities like ours. Not just those who need an advocate, who have misfortune of falling ill or have a loved one fall ill, lose their job or have a crap landlord. But those who want to start a business, get to college or follow a dream. Yes, because unless you have communism, you can't start a business, go to college or follow a dream. Also, very curious, how are you planning to start a business when you're getting taxed beyond all recognition? I heard that women in Britain are screaming in their bedrooms. It's like, fuck me harder. Fuck me like taxation under labor.